We're back with Matt Farah of the Smoking Tire YouTube channel, podcast, very popular. If you're into cars, I'm sure you already know this.
So he just said something about this storage thing that you've got. It's called West Coast what?
West Side Collector Car Storage.
It's not even West Coast, it's West Side.
It's the West Side of the West.
Of the West Side,
Yeah.
Because we know space is at a premium on the West Side.
Yeah, I live at the beach, and we wanted to solve the problem of the fact that there are many car collectors who live in the coast of LA, and there's just not much space.
So you've created a stacking system for storage?
Quad stackers, like they use in New York City a lot.
Yeah.
Like you see,
I've seen them.
LA lots like
Jerry
that.
Seinfeld has it.
We've put those indoors, which they haven't really done before, and certainly not in LA with our earthquake code. So we have a special system that is designed for the seismic loads of potential
That's
earthquake
awesome.
here in LA.
All right.
So hit us up if you want to store cars.
Good idea.
FYI, go
There you go.
contact him for that.
Find me.
I want to talk about your cars. What cars? I want to know, what is your daily driver? What do you drive every day?
So it's actually a more complicated question than you think, because I get to drive these test cars, right? So like I was saying before, every week I get a new car.
I want to talk about your personal. What do you own?
But
What do you have a
every
title?
day
Okay.
I'm driving the test cars,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
So I don't actually need
A real car?
practical real car.
Well,
so
that's a good gig.
So all
Practical
my
real
cars-
car is weird.
Yeah, all my cars are silly.
Oh.
Because I'm allowed to have silly cars because I don't need a practical car.
Isn't that impressive?
Yeah, that's a perk of the job.
That
Okay, he
certainly
rode a
is.
scooter here.
Yeah, that's
So
what
that's-
I was. I
that's what
wanted
I'm
him to
saying.
talk about the scooter.
So I have an old Lamborghini that is the coolest thing in the world,
Yeah.
and I drive it and I love it. I have an old Porsche that is the coolest thing in the world that I drive it and I love it. I have an old weird Japanese van that I imported, and it's the coolest thing ever. Love
And
it.
you love it.
I have an old Aston Martin that is weird and quirky and cool and James Bondy and fun, and I love. But that's the limit. That's
Yeah.
all. So, but my everyday get around LA, not deal with headaches, is a 10-year-old Yamaha 125cc scooter with a top speed of about 55 miles an hour that I rode here from Venice today.
Are you serious?
That's crazy.
I rode it over Malibu Canyon Road in like
my-
50-mile-an-hour winds to get here today.
Oh my
fantastic.
goodness! Wow.
So because I used to do this when I was at KTLA, I used to review cars and
Yeah.
I'd get these daily cars.
Yeah.
I remember reviewing the very first Kia.
the very first Kia,
yeah.
must have been horrible.
And that car was awful.
Yeah.
And
They've gotten better.
I actually said, this car, I wish them all the best. But this thing was ready to fall apart as I was driving
Was it
on
the
freeway.
Rio?
I think it was the Rio.
The Kia Rio
Yeah,
was a
really
truly bad car.
Yeah.
It actually was.
And so I reviewed everything from a Kia to
Yeah.
a Rolls-Royce Phantom.
Yeah.
Okay. So the gamut runs the gamut. So I think the most exciting car right now is the Corvette. And I've never been a Corvette guy ever. Never, ever.
Yeah.
This Ferrari Corvette.
Mid-engine Corvette.
Yeah. You just drove it.
I did drive it.
Tell me
yeah.
about that.
So the mid-engine Corvette is probably the most significant sports car of the year, right? So after 30 years of maybe teasing that they were going to move the engine from the front of the Corvette to behind the driver, there's a running joke in my industry, every 10 years you'd see a magazine cover with a fake rendering of a mid-engine Corvette. So it's finally here, it's finally real. It's very good. It's a very big improvement over the old car. It does the thing that Corvette does best, which is it democratizes a certain type of performance. From the first Corvettes right up until last year, they democratized the pinnacle of front-engine rear-wheel drive performance, made that affordable, came with some compromise, in order to get that performance for the cost, but very frequently were compared to a 911 or much more expensive cars for the money, right?
Yeah.
Moving the engine to the back changes a lot of things, but it doesn't change that relationship between Corvette and the rest of the world. It now democratizes the mid-engine sports car.
Yeah.
The same way it did 50 years ago by democratizing the front-engine sports car. Now it's doing it in the rear. So you still have this same robust aluminum small block engine. You now have a dual clutch gearbox, which means it shifts faster, but you can't get it in stick anymore. There's no more manual option. Yeah, they dropped the manual.
Wait a minute.
In order
There's
to make
no
the
manual
automatic
Corvette
It's
anymore?
all on the wheels.
yeah, in order to make the automatic better, they eliminated the manual entirely. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's kind of a bummer.
Okay, so for I grew up with my father had Corvettes. We were a Corvette family.
Yeah.
And I think they're just cool and sexy looking.
Uh-huh.
And I know that was all very fancy speak for Corvette.
No,
the bottom line is, do you like the Corvette or not?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
you will get your money's worth with the new Corvette. I think that,
Okay.
you know, the hype train, right?
It's beautiful, though.
It's good looking from, in my opinion, most angles.
Oh.
It is not, in my opinion, is not good looking
What
from
is
the
a
rear.
bad angle
The
looking?
rear.
Really?
The rear. Yeah, because what Corvette has is it has a rear trunk behind the engine. Most
that's weird.
mid-engined
Don't have anything back
cars
there.
have radiators and exhausts back there.
Right.
They want to have a trunk. To GM, a Corvette has a trunk, period. And
Oh.
so they want to fit a golf clubs back there. Right. So in order to do that, they had to bend the exhaust around that trunk.
That's weird.
And they had to move the radiators to other places.
So the
And
back end is no bueno, but the front end is beautiful.
front, to me, the front looks good. Side looks good. The back is
Meh.
compromised.
So who is their target audience?
Me.
It's always been an older group, right?
I think they're trying to move younger.
Yeah.
I think the
Okay.
goal is to move younger, and
Yeah.
the goal is to expand Corvette. To get out of that chest hair and gold chains and Hawaiian shirts.
Hawaiian shirt.
I mean, you laugh,
Basically,
but-
my father.
That's true,
I got
though.
it.
You laugh,
Very true.
but that demo is not
Yeah.
getting younger.
Your all-time favorite car is?
McLaren F1.
That's a pretty
Which is an
car.
oddball car, but you know, it was the first car to ever sell for over $1 million when it was new. They were not really appreciated the way that they probably would be if they were made today. But to get one now, 10 to 15 million bucks minimum. Minimum. Very rare car and probably the best driver's car of all time.
I don't think I've ever even seen one.
It's a
in
three-seater, and
yes.
the driver sits in
Cool.
the middle.
Middle, yeah. it's
you
a
don't
very-
see him around.
Yeah,
very
I
much.
don't think I've ever seen one in person.
Leno's got one.
Of
course he
Shocker.
does.
Of course he does.
Leno's got one, and he drives it. He drives it a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do see him driving it.
Drive through the. He always drives through the canyons.
I push started that McLaren on top of the canyons once. Yeah. It for some reason wouldn't start, and he needed a push start, and we
you
push
just have
started.
That's
it.
hilarious.
Yeah, we were there. Yeah.
All right. Well, Matt Farah, thank you for being here. You can always watch him, the Smoking Tire YouTube channel. Subscribe, watch. Get
Come
more
back
of
and
this
see us
guy.
again.
Yeah, come
We
back
really enjoyed this
anytime. That'd be
conversation.
awesome.
You can
Talk
find
about
all of it
cars.
at thesmokingtire.com.
Yeah.
Everything I do lands on that one page.
Very
I'm going
good.
to store my one car at your garage.
I'm happy to have you. West Side Collector Car Storage, opening in December.
All right, thanks.
We'll be
I'll
right
right
back.